Hello everyone, my name is Alexandra Jane, and today we are going to be doing a beginner's level Yin Yang Yoga practice. So this practice will last 1 hour. The Yin parts of the practice are statically held postures. We'll be working more into the connective tissues, and then the Yang portion is more dynamic movement where we're working more on strength and stretching the muscles. So we'll meet on the mat. If you have 3 pillows, 2 or 3 pillows, that would be great. If you have blocks, that would also be amazing. Hopefully you have the pillows. We'll be using them quite a bit, and the blocks aren't as necessary. So I will meet you on your mat, and we will start today in a reclined position, lying down. And make sure that you have your pillows close by. Put them lengthwise at the back of your mat. And we're going to take butterfly with the legs. So the feet at least 1 foot in front of the hips. The feet come together and the knees fall apart. And then we're just going to lie down on top of the pillows, and you just want your upper back and your head to be resting on the pillow. So we're doing heart openers today. And we're starting off with a gentle heart opener. If you have 3 pillows, it will be more intense. And if you have 2 pillows or 1 pillow, it will be less intense. So find something that works for you. Palms of the hands face up. We're also opening through the shoulders here. So find something where you feel that opening in the chest and the shoulders. Maybe the arms come out very wide. Close the eyes. Connect with the breath. If you start to feel pain in the knees, then what you're going to do is bring the feet to the floor. Feet to come mat width distance, and the knees fall together. So I'm demonstrating that one right now, or you can take butterfly with the legs. Starting off this practice in the Yin Pose, so a statically held pose. So start to open up the body. When we're practicing Yin, so these statically held postures, we're here for a few minutes, so we really want to listen to how is our body feeling in the posture. Do we feel a stretch, or are we feeling pain? Since we're holding these for a long time, you really have to be in tune with what you're feeling. And in each of the postures, you should feel a stretch, but nothing painful or any sharp or electric feelings. We're here for about another minute. Feel the sit bones heavy against the floor. Slowly bring some weight into the arms and the hands. Come up to a seated position. Move the pillows out of the way. You won't need them until the end of the practice. So we're in a comfortable seated position. You could also have a pillow underneath the hips here if it feels nice. Bring the hands onto the knees, and we'll just start with some neck rolls. So the head comes to the right side, forward, left, back. Continue with the neck rolls in one direction. You can also exaggerate the movement and bring in the shoulders. Now begin to go in the other direction. Come back to center, long spine, neck long, and bring the shoulders towards the front, up and back, down, front, up and back. Continue doing these shoulder circles, waking up the body, staying connected to the breath. Come back to center and we'll start to move in the other direction. So back, up, forward, and down. Continue like that. One more circle. And then come back to neutral. Both hands come behind the hips. Push into the hands to lift the hips up. Exhale, come back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Push into the hands, hips come up. And exhale down. Inhale, lift. Maybe you release the head back. We're here for 3 breaths. 2. 1. On an exhale, come back down. Stay grounded with the sit bones. And then just start to walk the hands forward. Head can come to the floor, onto your hands, or if it feels okay for the neck, you can just let the head hang. Long inhale. Long exhale. Inhale, walk the hands back towards the knees. Switch the crossing of the legs. Bring both hands behind the back and we'll do the same thing. We'll push into the hands to lift the hips up. Exhale back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale down. One more time. Inhale, lift. Hold. 2 more breaths. Exhale, come back down. You're going to bring the left hand up to the sky and then place the left hand onto the right knee. Right hand behind you and twist to the right side. Keep the spine long and the sit bones rooted. And the focus here isn't on moving the neck a lot. We're actually working on the upper back. So maybe the neck doesn't come all the way around, and that's not important. So stay in something that feels okay for your neck. And exhale, come back to center. The right hand comes up towards the sky, right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you, and exhale, twist to the left side. Spine long, shoulders far from the ears. Exhale to come back to center, and we'll just walk the hands forward. Once again, make sure your head is okay here, the neck. Inhale, walk the hands back towards the knees. We'll roll over the knees to come to hands and knees. So the knees are hip-width distance apart. Hands are shoulder-width distance apart and directly underneath the shoulders. We'll inhale to open through the chest. Gaze might come forward or up. And exhale around the spine, gaze to the belly button. Inhale to open, the chest shines forward, and exhale around the back. Gaze to the belly button. Inhale to open. Exhale, gaze to the belly button, round the back. Push into the hands to really round that back. Inhale, open. Exhale, push into the hands, round the back. One more time. Inhale to open. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, back to neutral, long spine. And then we're just going to keep the hips over the knees and walk the hands forward. Rest the head on the ground. If this is really intense, you can grab one of the pillows and put it underneath the head or underneath the chest. And another option is also to come further onto the heels. So we're taking our puppy pose, but we're doing a yin variation, which means that we're holding it for a few minutes. Often when we hold poses for a long time, it's actually a lot harder mentally than physically. So you have to use the breath to calm the mind. And remember that we're working to find our edge here. So we want to find a stretch without pain. So take a variation that feels okay for you. The legs stay slightly engaged. About one more minute here. When you're ready, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Come back up to hands and knees. From here, the right foot steps back. The left foot steps back, high plank. And on an exhale, we lift the hips up for downward facing dog. Try to keep the hands and the feet exactly where they are. And you can pedal out the legs. So you bend one knee and then the other to wake up the backs of the legs. Push into the hands, spread the fingers wide. And now come to a static pose. And begin to walk the feet in between the hands. Feet come hip-width distance apart. Grab the elbows for ragdoll. Bend the knees a lot so that the stomach is actually resting on the legs. You can move from side to side here. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Stay in the forward fold. On an inhale, we come up. We move vertebrae by vertebrae. When you arrive at the top, hands come by the side, Tadasana. You can stay with the feet hip-width distance apart, or bring the big toes to touch in a slight space in between the heels. Inhale, the hands come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a long spine. Hands are on the calves or on the floor. And then step the right foot back as far as you can. Bring the right knee to the ground. And we stay here in this low lunge for 5 breaths. Try to get the hips on the same level. So what that will mean is that you're pulling your right hip in towards you. And the legs are engaged here. So imagine that the right foot is going to meet the left knee. Sorry, the left foot is going to meet the right knee. So you're pulling the foot and the knee towards each other. And this engagement in the legs will actually help you get further into the stretch and feel it more. 2 more breaths. Stay with the knee on the ground or tuck the toes, come up off the knee. We're here for 5 breaths. Hands stay on the ground if you can. Otherwise, if you have your blocks, you can place them on the blocks. And of course, the knee can always stay down. 3 more breaths. Long spine. Bring the hands to the ground and then step the right foot slightly in, so about halfway in, and we'll find pyramid pose. The left knee can be bent, but we're working towards straightening it. The feet both point forward. The right foot is maybe a little bit to the right side. The spine is long. And you want to work on getting both hips to face towards the front. A few more long breaths here. Release any tension in the shoulders or the jaw. Bring the hands to the ground. The right foot steps as far back as you can. Right knee to the ground. And we'll find your way to half split. So the hips come over the knee. Hips face forward. Left foot flexed. And the left leg straight, or you can always have a gentle bend. Try to have a long spine here. One more long inhale. Long exhale and bend into the left knee. Both hands come to the floor. Left foot steps back. On an exhale, the knees, chest and chin come to the floor. And then slowly lower yourself all the way to the floor. We're going to come to Sphinx Pose. So place the forearms on the ground. We're taking the yin variation, which means that the elbows are going to be in front of where the shoulders are. So the elbows are not directly underneath the shoulders, but in front. Palms of the hands face towards the floor. We're working on opening through the chest here. So if you feel any compression in your back, you're going to engage the glutes. And even if you don't feel too much compression, you can work on engaging the glutes and seeing how it feels different in your body versus when you're relaxed. We'll be here for 2 more minutes. Shoulders far from the ears. Imagine that you're gently pulling the floor with the hands towards the back to create more space for the chest to come forward. If Sphinx is too intense, another option is also to have both hands on the floor and then the head in the hands, which is also a chest opener. few more breaths. Exhale, lower all the way to the ground. Head comes down. Come back up to hands and knees. Push into the hands and the knees. Left foot steps back. Right foot steps back for high plank. And then lift the hips up. Downward facing dog. Downward facing dog, we're working on the long spine, so the knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Try to focus on that long back. Heels don't have to touch the floor. And then start to walk the feet back in between the hands. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale the hands to the sky, and exhale the hands by the side. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So inhale, the hands come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a long spine. Exhale, the left foot steps back, left knee to the ground. We're staying in this low lunge position, both hands on the floor. On blocks. Engage the legs, so imagine that the right foot is pulling towards the left knee. Release any tension in the jaw, the forehead. Tuck the left toes, lift the knee off the floor. Try to keep the hands on the ground or on props. The knee can stay on the ground as well if it's more comfortable. Shoulders far from the ears. More long inhale. Exhale. Bring the left foot into about the middle of your mat. And we find pyramid pose. The hips face forward, feet face forward. The back stays long. Step the back foot as far back as you can. Bring the knee to the ground. Half split. Right toes point towards the sky. Hips over the knee. And you can bend the right knee as much as you need to. Maybe today you're all the way up like this if it feels right for the leg. If you feel that stretch, then that's all we're working towards, is to feel the stretch. So no need to go any further. Into the right leg. Hands come to frame the right foot. Right foot steps back. Lower knees, chest and chin. Lower all the way to the ground, and we're going to come back to our back bend. So we took Sphinx before, or we can just have our hands on the ground and our head on the hands. This will be the least intense. Otherwise, come back to Sphinx with the elbows in front of where the shoulders are. And then if this is still okay for you, we're going to come up onto the hands. So we come up onto the hands. The closer you bring the hands towards you, the more intense it will be, and the further away, the least intense. But we're not necessarily looking for something very intense here, as we'll be holding it for a few minutes, so find something that feels okay in your body. And remember, with the other side, what we were doing with engaging the glutes. So if you feel too much compression in the lower back, then what you'll do is engage the glutes. And whether or not you feel too much compression, you can also play with that to see how it feels different in your body versus when you're relaxed. Try to keep the hands pushing into the floor if you're up. And they're pulling towards you to create that space for the chest to come further forward. The shoulders are far from the ears, so we are carrying tension in the shoulders. Allow them to release. And wherever you are, try and hold that pose. So it's not important to be moving around, testing out the hardest pose and then coming back to the easiest one. Just stay somewhere that you can hold for a long time, for about 1 more minute. Exhale, lower all the way down. Rest one ear on the floor to integrate the posture that we just did. When you're ready, we'll come back to Sphinx Pose, but this time we're going to take the more Yang variation, the Vinyasa variation. So the elbows are shoulder width distance and directly underneath the shoulders. The forearms against the floor, and keep pulling the body forward, the chest forward. If you're comfortable here, then bend the right knee, and maybe you grab the ankle or the foot with the right hand. Once you've grabbed it, kick the foot into the hand to open up through the shoulder and the back. 2 more breaths. 1. On an exhale, keep holding onto the foot, but you're going to bring the foot towards the right hip. Maybe the elbow comes up and the hands come to face forward on the foot. Otherwise, you can just take different arm variation and just work on pushing the foot towards the floor. If it's too intense, both legs can stay on the floor. The left foot pushes into the floor, left leg engaged. And exhale, set it back down. My elbows underneath the shoulders and bend the left leg, grab the foot or the ankle. Kick the foot into the hand to open through the shoulders and the back. Shoulders keep pointing forward. And the right foot pushes into the floor so that the right leg is engaged. 2 more breaths. On an exhale, try to pull the left foot towards the ground next to the left hip. Maybe the elbow comes to point towards the sky and the fingers point forward over the toes. Keep the shoulders far from the ears. Don't carry tension in that area or the jaw. Keep pushing into the floor with the right foot. And exhale, release the leg. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Come up for plank pose on the knees. And then we'll bring the toes underneath us and rise to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up off the floor. Bring the right knee to the right shoulder for 3, 2, 1. Lift the leg up off the floor. Right knee, left shoulder for 3, 2, 1. Lift it up as high as you can behind you. Right knee towards the chin for 3, 2, 1. Set the knee down behind the wrist. Left leg long. We're trying to stretch the front of the hips. So maybe you're going to come up over the hips. And if this still feels okay, then bend the left knee, grab the ankle or the foot with the left hand, and maybe you come around and grab it with the right hand as well. If you do grab the ankle or the foot, then push the ankle or the foot into the hand. Imagine that the foot will touch the ground one day. Shoulders open towards the front. And exhale, hands come back down, left leg comes down. Tuck the left toes underneath you, bring the knee off the ground, and we're going to pull the right knee in towards our chest. So lift the knee up off the ground, round the back, push into the hands as much as you can, and then the knee comes back to hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now bring the left right knee next to the left right shoulder, and then set the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Knee comes to the ground. Left knee to the ground. Right foot to the right side of the mat. Stay here in lizard pose. If you would like to go further, then the elbows come to the ground. And if you're comfortable here, then keep the left hand on the ground and just grab the foot or the ankle with the right hand. Maybe you come onto the left elbow. Left foot comes back to the ground. Walk the right foot in between the hands. Left toes tucked underneath you and rise to high lunge. Hands towards the sky. Bend into the right knee a lot. Bend the left knee now to get an internal rotation of the hips. Feel the engagement and the stretch happening in that left hip, and then straighten the leg, push into an imaginary wall with the left heel. 3 more breaths. Left heel comes to the ground for warrior 1. The left foot is about a 45-degree angle. The shoulders and the hips face forward. Tuck the lower belly in, engage the core. And now bring the hands behind you, clasp the hands together. Inhale to open the chest. Exhale, fold to the inside of the right leg. Two more breaths. Release the hands, place the hands about 1 foot in front of the right foot, and lift the left foot up off the ground. We're in supported warrior 3, the hands directly underneath the shoulders. Left toes point towards the floor, spine long. One more long inhale. Long exhale, bring the left foot next to the right foot on the ground. Slowly roll the spine up. Come back to standing pose with the palms facing forward. And inhale, both hands come to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale for a long spine. Exhale, step 1 foot back, and then the other, knees, chest, chin. cobra. Elbows stay bent and hug into the body. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Hips to the sky. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Left knee, left elbow. Left leg lifts. Left knee, right shoulder. For 3, 2, 1. Lift the leg back up. Bring the knee in towards the chin. For 3, 2, 1. Set the knee down behind the wrist. Stretch the right leg out. Come up over the hips with the body. And maybe you bend the right knee, flex the foot, and grab the ankle with the right hand, and maybe the left hand as well. Once you grab the foot, if you grab the foot, then kick the foot into the hands. Open through the chest and the shoulders. Exhale, set the hands back down. Right foot down. Bring the knee in towards the chest. Come up high on the hands, push into the hands, and then hover the knee close to the ground. Up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come up, and then place the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Right knee comes to the ground. Stay here, or you can come up on the elbows. If you would like, you can grab the right foot with the left hand. Open through the chest if you grab the foot. You can also come down onto the elbow. Otherwise, the chest, the shoulders point forward, hips point forward if you didn't grab the foot. Exhale, the right foot comes back down. Both hands to the ground and walk the left foot to the inside of the left hand. Come up onto the right toes, knee lifts, and inhale back up to high lunge. Bend the right knee, get an internal rotation of the right hip. Feel the engagement, feel the stretch, and then you straighten the leg. Push into an imaginary wall with the right heel. Sink a little bit deeper into the left knee. 3 more breaths. Right heel comes to the ground, warrior 1. Right foot at a 45-degree angle. Stand up tall with the arms. And now clasp the hands behind the back. Inhale, look up. And exhale, fold to the inside of the left leg. If this is really easy for you, then try to have the whole hand touching, so even the wrists touch. Gaze comes to the floor about 1 foot in front of the left foot. Hands come down, lift the right leg up for supported warrior 3. So the hands are directly underneath the shoulders. One more long inhale. Long exhale, step the right foot as far back as you can. Left foot comes down. Bring the knees down and come to sit onto the heels. Bring the pillows back towards you. So the pillows are long, the same direction as the mat. You can stack to about 2 or 3 together. And what we're going to do is have the legs out long. Come back to sit on the heels. Sorry about that. And now spread the feet out. Come to sit to the inside of the heels. Knees come to mat distance. So the yin variation of this pose is to have the knees out wide. maybe this is too intense. What you're going to do if it's too intense is you're only going to have one knee bent and the other leg straight and forward. If this is still too intense, then come to that butterfly pose we did at the beginning of the practice. So one knee bent or both knees, and we're sitting on the inside of the ankle. The knee is mat width distance. Bring the pillows behind you and come to lie on top of the pillows to get an opening in the chest. And actually this pose, if you're doing it right, it should be quite comfortable. So if you're feeling pain in the hip or the knee, then come out of it. Only do it with one leg or find the butterfly position, the feet together, knees apart. Come back to the breath. Allow your eyes to close. If you have both knees bent, then stay where you are. If you only have one knee bent, then you're going to push into the hands, come back out, extend the right leg, and then bend the left knee. Bring the foot to the outside of the hip, the knee wide, about mat width distance, and then we're going to fold back over onto our backs. Remember that there's different variations you can take if you feel any pain in the knee. Another option would also be to have the feet mat width distance and the knees fall together. About 30 more seconds. Slowly push yourself back up to seated. Bring both feet to about mat width distance and just rock the knees from side to side. Legs come out long. Bring the pillows closer to you. We're going to lie over the pillows, so Try to have 3 pillows here. And also what you could do to get more of a back bend is to place a book or something hard underneath the pillows. If you feel like you want a more intense stretch, place something underneath at about where the shoulder blades meet is where the highest point should be. Make sure that you feel stable in the pose that you chose with the pillows and the props. You want your head to be supported here. Here for a few minutes. Feel your lower body heavy against the floor, grounded. Imagine that there's a string pulling your chest up towards the sky. Keep breathing into this. If you want to connect with the breath a little bit more, you can also place the hands onto the stomach and feel the air as it enters with each inhale and exits with each exhale. One more minute. Five more breaths. Roll over onto one side. Move the props out from under you. We're just going to keep one pillow close to us. We're going to take a twist. So we come to lie on the backs. The knees come in towards the chest. And then the hips come slightly to the right side. Knees fall to the left side. And then you can place the pillow on the ground underneath the knees if the knees don't touch the floor. Or what I like to do for myself is place the pillow in between the knees. The shoulders stay grounded on the floor and the gaze comes over the right shoulder. Arms in a T or cactus. The gaze can also be towards the ceiling if you're feeling any tension in the neck. Shoulders grounded. About 30 more seconds here. Knees come up, feet to the floor. Hips come slightly to the left side, and the knees fall to the right side. You can place a pillow underneath the knees if your knees don't quite touch the floor. And you can also place a pillow in between the knees, especially if they aren't touching. The shoulders stay grounded, arms in a T or cactus. Gaze at the sky or over the left shoulder. You can close the eyes here. One more minute. Inhale, come back through center. Keep the hips and the shoulders and the back all in line. And we're going to come to lie onto our backs. Place the pillow underneath the knees. And if you have another pillow close by or blanket, then place a pillow over your hips. And the reason that I'm saying to place the pillow over your body is because it brings a feeling of relax and calm, which is why a lot of people like weighted blankets. So the legs, there's a pillow underneath the knees. Toes fall outwards, melt into the ground. And if you would like, you can place something on top of the hips or a blanket. We're here for a few minutes, taking this moment for ourselves. Begin to deepen the inhales and the exhales. Bring movement back into the body, the fingers and the toes. Arms stretch overhead for a last full body stretch. Remove the pillows from on top and underneath you and roll over onto your right side. The right arm acts as a pillow. When you're ready, come up to seated. Hands on the knees. Take a moment to think of one thing for which you have gratitude, for which you are grateful. With each inhale, feel that feeling of gratitude spread throughout your body. Place one hand on the heart center, in the middle of your chest, and the other. Bow your head towards your hands in gratitude for yourself and for this practice. Namaste, thank you.